All right, and I think we are live now. All right, so hello to everyone joining me for the stream today. Yeah, so there's a lot to talk about that just happened. Um, as you'd probably imagine, Bitcoin has just gone insane recently. Uh, Still, the volatility remains very, very high, as many can see here. But yeah, so that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be looking at a few different coins, like, of course, the major coins, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ripple, Litecoin, and then we're going to go into the trading part to see some trades that we can take. And I put in the title breakout trading because that's the strategy that we're probably going to be using. Yeah, so that's the agenda for today. But I'm going to start off with some Bitcoin analysis in a minute or two when more people are here and get alerted from YouTube. Yeah, that's the question on really everyone's mind right now. If Bitcoin's at the bottom right now, and that's what we're going to talk about. I do not have a yes or no answer to that because there's a lot of things you could be looking at. Yeah, yeah, looking forward to talking about that. All right, now seems like enough people are coming here. Let's get started on the Bitcoin analysis. So what's going on? Well, as probably everyone here knows, let's look at what happened first. Just looking at price. So if I turn on the hourly, we can see that we went up to 20K, and then we had a crash that was quite low. We had this where Bitcoin fell 46% in like, what was it, like a week? Like, God. And then what happened after that was we had a 61.8 retracement, to be expected. Let me just show you that for the Fibonacci fans at home. We had a touch of it, and then we had a rejection, then we had a little bit higher, and then we had a large rejection at that level, and then price continued to move downward. And now we have this, where some people think it's the bottom, some people don't. Yeah. Yeah, so let's turn on volume, and then I'm going to turn on sentiment. I know sentiment can be a little bit tough for some people to interpret, but it is pretty important to just look at what people are doing so that we can make informed decisions based on that. Okay, so what's going on? So a lot of people just bought this bottom, as you can see here, this large jump in long sentiment. We went from, before the bottom, we were at 24.6 thousand Bitcoin held in long positions. Now we're at 29.35. So that's quite the jump. We went from 49% up to 70% long. So a lot of people just bought Bitcoin, which usually when a lot of people buy something, that's not the best sign. So sentiment-wise, and then also a lot of shorts dropped off, as you can see here, this red line. A lot of shorts got out of this market. So here's the thing, and here's why I'm kind of mixed on whether to be bullish or bearish on Bitcoin. I'm bullish in the short term, a little bit more bearish in the medium term, and of course, as always, I'm going to be bullish in the long term. Yeah, and for those who don't know, this is BFX LS100. This is sentiment. What this tells us is how many Bitcoin are held in long positions with the green, how many Bitcoin are held in short positions in the red. And all the data comes from Bitfinex, which is an international exchange. Yeah, so this just tells you where people's positions, how many positions people have accumulated or distributed. So it can be really helpful when trying to make a decision. So going back to what I had said earlier, Fibonacci-wise, this looks like a bottom. And I'm gonna show you guys that in like 30 seconds. But sentiment-wise, this doesn't really look fantastic because a lot of people buying this and a lot of people getting out of shorts. That's a lot of buy volume entering the market, which could mean that this could be just a minor retracement that we could get a continuation down to like 7K. And let me show you guys why I say those numbers. Those are not just random made up numbers. All right, let's turn off that. So here's the bullish reason, and probably what a lot of people have seen. If you look here, if I was to draw, let me turn on magnet mode. If I was to draw from this low, let me do that, up to this high. Then we already get the Fibonacci extension. We can see that's the 127.2. Then, for even more confluence, if we look at this move right here, we're looking at this up move, and now we're looking at this up move. If you go from here to here, you can see that the 1.618 got hit as well, and they're just about in the same region, if you see right there. So that's a pretty bullish reason that both of those major fib extension levels got hit, which is a pretty good sign for a market, a major market pullback upward. Yeah, and then also there's one more fib extension that was important too. I think it was from this to this. No, that one wasn't even hit yet. From here to here, yeah. And then also this was the other one. The even bigger Fibonacci here was at the 127 right here. So this is this is some pretty major support right here, as you can see. And then also, if you were to just note the all-time, Fibonacci, if you assumed that Bitcoin started at 0 and then went up to 20K, if you did 61.8 of 20K, I think that would be, I don't know if that number's been hit yet, 0.618 of 20,000. That's minus 12. Okay, so that'd be 20,000 minus 12,360. Minus 12, yeah. So that's 7640. Yeah, so that'd be 7640. So that will be the Fibonacci retracement from 0 to 20K. So that point hasn't been hit yet by Bitcoin. All right, so one guy asked for the dark theme, but let me just ask you guys, do you want light or dark? If I'd say at least 5 of you really want the dark theme, then I can change it. But but if not many people really want it, then I'm just going to keep it as it is. Yeah, and then one more thing besides just Fibonacci's, and then we're going to go into volume and sentiment, of course, is previous resistance becoming future support. Okay, so we have 2 dark themes. We need 3 more. If we look here, we can see that this is some major resistance level right here. We can see the price made a tail bound down to here, and then it immediately went back up. That occurred right here. Yeah, so that's even more confluence. The price is probably going to continue going back upward. Okay, that's 4 for dark. If anyone else says dark, that's hasn't already said it. Yeah, that's what I was worried about. But I can just show you guys what dark would look like if another person wants to. But yeah, so without further ado, let's go to volume. All right, so here's the good news for people who bought or are looking to buy is we have some major volume right here. If you see, on the hourly we have 13.5K and 13.7K. All right, one more person said dark. Let me go just do it. Now my eyes are hurting, to be honest. And when I turn on sentiment, let's see what that looks like. It looks fine. Yeah, so I'm going to give this a few minutes. If you guys really like it, I'll just keep it on. I don't care. But if this annoys you, just let me know in the chat. Yeah, so what I was talking about, volume spike. So we have a major volume spike down here. As you can see, a major bullish volume spike that occurred right here and here. So on a doji and on a continuation candle. This is also known as a Maribazu, as you can see, because there's no upper tail or lower tail. Yeah, I was going to call this bullish engulfing, but it's not a bullish engulfing candle because a bullish engulfing candle would have to engulf the previous candle before it, and this is just continuation with high volume. So this does look, so bottom line, this looks pretty bullish to me in the short term. I I just don't really think that this is the bottom, though, because of how many people had bought. And that brings me to the last point here of the Bitcoin analysis. How many people just bought and how many people got out of short positions? We would have to see a lot more longs beginning to drop off, and we'd have to see a lot more shorts beginning to go back up for this to actually begin the uptrend. Because typically uptrends begin with major volume spikes, and this is a pretty high volume spike, but you'd actually probably even see a higher volume spike for a major reversal. Even though it's kind of harder to see the volume with dark. Let me turn off sentiment. Oh yes, like a major volume spike would look like something like that. As you can see, this is crazy high, and it's way higher than everything else before it. Do you see that? But then if we go to the recent time, like what just happened, does this volume spike look significantly higher than everything else here, or does it look a little bit slightly above average? I mean, so that's the reason why I still say that this is Bitcoin's probably going to retrace back upward, because it looks like it has enough bullish momentum, and buying now is probably a pretty good idea. But just be wary of what's going to happen at like a fib level. Let me draw that. What could happen is if we look at this Fibonacci here, down to there, yeah. Oh my God, the Fibonacci is like invisible because of the dark theme. Yeah, I'm gonna have to like change the entire color, make it white. Yeah. Use one color, use white. Okay. Okay, there we go. There's the fib. Good. Yes, the 61.8 is up to here, so maybe we'll see a run up to that level. I would expect that that level would have some serious resistance because it's, a major fib level. And on the shorter term, also this fib level here. Oh, and that overlaps pretty well with the 38.2 as well, as you can see here. The 38.2 of the major and the 61.8 of the more minor. We can see that these have good overlap at 95, 60 to 70. So I would expect maybe price goes back up to that level and then has resistance or maybe just some consolidation for a long time. Yeah. And then on top of that, there's also some previous support. Previous support here and previous support here that could become future resistance. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that Bitcoin's probably just going to go up to there, and then maybe just see some major consolidation or maybe just see some resistance. But I don't really think this looks like a major market bottom yet, where it begins, an uptrend back up to like above 20K. I think that first we need to see either a double bottom, where price goes a bit up and then goes back down to support and then respects support and then goes back up into an uptrend. And then we also just need to see better sentiment. We need to see sentiment just drop off because we can't have these many buyers in the market, as you can see. Because for the market to continue an uptrend, we're going to need new buyers. And if everyone buys, then how are we going to get new buyers? So I know that's just like not explained fantastically because sentiment can be a little bit tough to handle. But yeah, this doesn't look like it's going to go up to like 20K right now. But yeah, I did buy a little bit of Bitcoin on my own on a different trading account. And I'm in profit right now, which is nice because, yeah. I don't know about you guys, but the dark theme kind of irks me. Some of you guys like it, but I think it's kind of like ugly, especially when contrasted with volume and fibs. Sentiment looks fine on it though, as you can see. Like actually looks kind of cool. Okay, so that kind of I think does it for the Bitcoin analysis. One last thing that I will say, which is the volume trend. We see decreasing volume on this retracement. And then we see really not much volume up here. As you can see, we should see increasing volume when price goes up if it is an uptrend. And we don't really see that right now. So maybe we're going to see some consolidation or retracement right now. Yeah. And I think that's what we're seeing now, just that retracement. Especially after a major market move, when the market becomes that volatile, it has to consolidate for a little bit. And this amount of volatility is just crazy. It went from from the breakdown, it went down like 20%, and then I went up like 15%. That amount of volatility needs to be followed by a period of involatility. So what I mean by that is, like, you can see that this was very volatile when the market went down, and then went down very, very quickly. We had a long period of consolidation. And then after that period of consolidation, we had a breakdown, and then price went down again. So we're looking to find probably here some major consolidation after price chooses its direction. Maybe price goes up to that fib and then consolidates there, or maybe price goes down a bit and then consolidates at support. Probably one of those two levels. Yeah, the dust needs to settle, yeah. Because the buyer and seller interest isn't always going to be this high. One side's going to win. Either the buyers are going to win out and, price is going to like start climbing up to like the 10K, or the sellers are going to win out and we'll see support. And then maybe, even though I think it's really unlikely, we might even see price break down below support because of how many people had already bought. But I don't really think that's going to happen anytime soon. It doesn't really look like it. So yeah. Okay. So I think that kind of just about does it for Bitcoin. But let me go on to the other coins, and then I'm going to start talking about how we can trade them. Let's do Ethereum, and then we'll do Litecoin, and then I'm going to trade some breakouts. So Ethereum looks strange. Ethereum does look a little bit more bullish. The reason I say that is that is a pretty major volume spike, if you see here, comparing that to previous values, right there. Yeah. I'm just trying to keep that one on scale. This volume spike's probably like twice, I'd say like twice as high as these volume spikes. So Ethereum looks really, really bullish right now at 775. Yeah. And then I also looked at sentiment, and I would say that, yeah, so the green and red lines, I get questions about that a lot. That's long sentiment and short sentiment. So what that tells us is this green line tells us how many Bitcoin are held in long positions, or, in this case, how many Ethereum are held in long positions. Red tells us how many Ethereum are held in short positions. And you might be wondering, like, wait, I thought you couldn't short in the US, but this is Bitfinex, an international exchange where you can short. So, and there are some markets where, like, it's actually heavily short. Like, like this one, there's a lot of XRP, BTC, a lot of people shorted. That means that, for those who are interested, that means that they're trading the Ripple for Bitcoin, and then holding that with the intention of putting it back into Ripple. But if you were to buy XRP, BTC, what you're doing is you're selling Bitcoin to buy Ripple. Yeah. For anyone who didn't know what that means, basically you're always, when you look at a chart and then you look at the quote, the second thing is what you're selling and the first thing is what you're buying. So, if I was to, let's say, buy one coin, what I'd be doing is I'd be selling $948 to buy one Ethereum. Yeah. So that's what the green and red lines represent, long and short. And what they tell us and how can we use them? Because they tell us where people's positions are, what we can do is use that to try to become the first buyer into an uptrend or the first seller into a downtrend. And how do you do that? Well, what you want to do is wait for a major spike, either upward or downward, and then you want to do the opposite of what everyone else is doing. Let's look at an example. So here we went from 163,000 down to 146,000. Major loss in longs. This would have been a really good spot to buy. I know this is 2020 hindsight, and I'm completely aware of that. But regardless, just you want to buy when everyone else just rapidly sells very quickly and in very high amounts. So this would be a good buying opportunity. Yeah. I'm trying to find another example. Yeah, like this is another example here. You see a lot of people just bought this right here and then just continue to buy it. This would have been a decent place to sell, and then you would have not had any of this loss here. So I don't really know what you mean by how to read them on the index. Do you mean like these values here? If you do mean these values here, I can tell you guys what those mean as well. So number on the far left tells us how many Ethereum, or the coin that you're trading in that case, is held in long positions. this first red tells you how many Ethereum are held in short positions. This one just tells you the percent long, percent short, and that's it. Yeah. So like, as I'm scrolling, the percent is changing. So right now we're at 53, but before we were a little bit higher, like 55. But a lot of longs dropped off, as you can see. But yeah, I really have no reason to be bearish on Ethereum. It's had really good performance before. I know that FBTC has performed really, really well recently too. Yeah, it went up to like 0.12, which is I think pretty high for FBTC. And when everything else was crashing yesterday, and I did lose a bit of money. Well, in this case, a little bit of Bitcoin because I just took so many losses from all these coins, Ripple especially, and we're going to get to that soon. But Ethereum was actually performing pretty well against Bitcoin until it fell as well, and then you had that minus 9%. Yeah. Yeah, so let's talk more about what's going on with Ethereum. I see major support here. We have a low tail down here. We also had a low tail down here. The most important thing though, for sure, is that volume spike, and that looks to be 4 point. I think that's like no, not 4. That's like 3.5. So what I'm looking at is volume, and then if you look to the right, you see these numbers here. That orange value is the moving average value, and the red or green value, it's going to change from red to green based on the candlestick, of course, is going to tell you how much volume was traded. So what I like to do is compare the volume to the moving average. So if we look here, we can see that first volume spike that began the uptrend that Ethereum's in right now, it was 71 over 19. So that's like a little over 3.5, the moving average. And for those who don't know what the volume moving average is, it's just a simple moving average. All it is it takes, I use a 20. So all it does is it takes the last 20 volume candlesticks, and then it makes an average, divided by 20, and then it reports that in a line like that, as you can see here. And one way to trade volume spikes to make sure you're actually trading a volume spike is to look at that moving average, because volume's all relative. Like a really high volume number on Ethereum is going to be a completely different number on Bitcoin, completely different number on like Monero. So what you always want to do is compare it back to previous data, and the one way you can do that is using the moving average. Like right here, we had some major volume that turned into this uptrend, as you can see here. Now we're beginning to see major volume, and are we going to see consolidation? We might. We certainly might see some consolidation here. What I was going to do, I was going to talk about, I think, the Fibonacci's. I don't think this Fibonacci's as pretty, really. I think this is probably a 1.27. Yeah, it is. Okay. With a 160. So if price does fall, it's probably going to fall down to just about there at the 161.8. If we were going to go on very long term, looking here, I think this looks to be a 61.8 to me. Yeah, it is. Okay. So, if we were to take the uptrend that began at 500 and then, created this large uptrend, you can see that price had a 61.8 at 850, and then that got hit once, now it got hit twice. So now the golden question, am I bullish or bearish on Ethereum? I wish I could answer just like neutral, but I know that's like a stupid answer. But looking at sentiment, I'd say bullish, honestly. And looking at how well Ethereum's performed recently, I would say that there's really not too much reason to be bearish. I would say that if price does go down, it'll probably go down to that level I showed you guys around, I think it was like 680 or something, and then probably go back up. And if you do see that, probably you're going to see a large drop in long sentiment, a lot of buyers getting out, and then potentially one could buy down here at a really good level. But yeah, I think Ethereum looks pretty good. Definitely the sentiment and the technicals both look good. Whereas with Bitcoin, the technicals look good, but the sentiment looks pretty ugly. All right, so I'm going to do Litecoin, and I think then I'm going to start the other part of this video after that. Okay, so let's go on with Litecoin. Okay. So that already looks to be a Fibonacci. That probably is a 1.27. I'm just doing that in my head. I think it probably is. Yeah, it is. 127 down to there. And it's a 161.8 of this moved as well. And for those who don't know Fibonacci extensions, like what I'm doing here, basically what you can do with these extensions is to plot future support and future resistance levels using previous data. So how do you do that? Well, if price is in a downtrend, I mean, if the coin's in a downtrend, what you want to do is plot a Fibonacci extension of a retracement. So we can see that this is a bullish retracement. I think you guys would agree. So what you do is you plot that, the low to the high, of course, forward in time. And then you typically want to buy or, be wary of wanting to buy at around the 161.8 of that important level. And you can see here that level got hit and then it got immediately rejected and price went back up. So if you had bought at like 127, you'd be in profit right now. And one more thing, you can see that price consolidated at the 127 and then went down to the 161.8. That is typically what's going to happen with those fibs. Just for kicks and giggles, I'm going to draw this fib as well. Yeah, and the 127 is there too. Okay, so that even further validates that Litecoin looks relatively bullish as well. Fibonacci-wise, it looks like we're going to see some major pullback back upward. But is this the beginning of an uptrend? That is the golden question. This is a major volume spike on the 4 hour, as you can see. Yeah, this could be the beginning of an uptrend, I would say. I think Litecoin and Ethereum might be beginning uptrends, but we might see some consolidation first. And then maybe a breakout. What I mean by that is like this, consolidation and then a breakout. Or potentially even like this, a lot of consolidation, then an up move. Because there was a lot of volatility recently. So that might need to be countered by some consolidation. Going on the super short term, yeah, I don't think that Litecoin looks super bullish in the very short term. I think it looks like it's, as you can see here, consolidating. So buying it's probably not a great idea to do right now. Maybe you want to fetch a lower price and then buy, because it does look quite bullish in the medium term. All right, one last one. Let's do Ripple. All these charts look really similar because they all follow Bitcoin so well. So the one good thing about Ripple is the volume spike was quite dramatic. If you see here, we had a 4 times volume spike, 45 divided by 11. Here we had a 36 over 9, so that's another 4. Then here we had, looks to be a little bit under 4. So basically, a lot of volume was just transacted at this market bottom. And that's a really good sign for people who want to buy Ripple or who already own Ripple. Yeah, I would say that Ripple looks pretty bullish right now, to be honest. Let's take a look at sentiment. Okay, so sentiment-wise, a lot of shorts dropped out and a lot of longs dropped out, I see. Let me just isolate the sentiment only. I'll make it a lot easier. Yes, we can see a large drop in longs and a large drop in shorts, but the percent, yeah, so a lot more people went long. I would say that this is still decently bullish, even though a lot of shorts dropped out. I can still see this becoming an uptrend. So would you ask something about LA wave theory? Okay, so someone asked about sentiment, another person asked about using LA wave theory. Okay. Using Bitcoin LA wave, let's just disable that then. Go to the 4 hour. So recently, as probably many of you guys have seen, price has not really been acting perfect Elliott waves. It's been a lot of just more chaotic movement, I would say. But if I was to label this in a 5-wave downward pattern, which is the standard way you would label it. I would say that we have that. Let me change that color. Much better. Okay. We have that, and then we have, that's wave A. I mean, wave 1, sorry. Wave 2, yeah, this looks like a really strange Elliott wave. But if I had to categorize it, I'm thinking like wave 1, and then this would be wave 2 up to the 61.8. That's pretty normal. And then wave 3 would be equal to wave 1 here, down to like here. But then that would say that price is probably going to continue moving downward. Using Elliott wave theory, it would be bearish. Unless you saw, if I was going like on a super, super long time frame like the daily, maybe this will become a little bit prettier. I think on the daily, this doesn't even look like a 5 wave at all. This looks like a 3 wave. So if we were to say that the uptrend actually began here and then the downtrend began here, if we were to use those levels, then A, this would be B, and this would be C. And this looks a lot more accurate when I went on the daily instead of the 4 hour. Yeah. So that's what my Elliott wave theory analysis would look like. Let me just make that a little bit prettier. Yeah, but now the important thing about Elliott wave, and the really cool thing, is we can actually just do price range and see just how much price dropped. And then we want to see the ratio. Okay, so that's that 46%. How about wave C? Okay. Wow. Okay, that is actually so cool. I don't know if you guys see that, but do you see how these numbers are almost identical? Like, I promise you, I actually didn't even I didn't do any Elliott wave theory analysis before. I didn't do any Fibonacci analysis. I just turned on the live stream and then just wanted to look at a few coins and then begin day trading in like 30 minutes. But this is really cool. I drew from the high to low and the high to low here of A and C. If you see here, guys, A and C are exactly equal. Minus 91.91 and minus 92.09. I mean, those are basically the exact same. So this could actually mean that Bitcoin is a little bit more bullish than I thought it originally was. I am bullish on Bitcoin, but I didn't see that it was this attractive. Yeah. This looks really, really good. Not like, this is not a guarantee that Bitcoin's going to go up now, but the way to use Elliott wave theory is this gives a very high probability that price is going to have a harder time making new lows. That's all. And the reason I say that is it looks like price just completed an ABC pattern. Let me even make that even more attractive. I'm gonna do this. So if you guys want to pause the video after I make this, and then you can screenshot it or do whatever you want after I draw this. I think the A got disappeared. 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 All right, that's much prettier. Let's do that, and then let's do that. So this would be B. Let me draw that. That's so that's A. That's B. And that looks to be C. All right, so there it is. Yeah, so, I mean, Elliott wave theory looks pretty good right now, and that is, today I bought a decent amount of Bitcoin based on fibs, but if I had looked at the Elliott wave theory, I would have been even more confident with buying Bitcoin right now. The only issue I have with Bitcoin right now, though, is the sentiment, as you can see here. A lot of people bought, and a lot of people got out of short positions. So that's a lot of buy volume entering the market. Typically, that's not a good sign. But still, I mean, Fibonacci's, Elliott wave theory, kind of volume, are all indicating that this is going to be a reversal. So yeah. Let's go a little bit deeper into this Elliott wave wormhole that we have here. Let me get the low here and plot that up to the high there. Yeah, perfect. Now it just looks cluttery, but you can see all three. Yeah, so if you guys see here, what are you looking at? So this is ABC. This is the ABC Elliott wave theory pattern, even though B is kind of hidden. Sorry. Let me just redraw that. Where'd it go? I think it was like, yeah, perfect. Okay. So, and then let me draw the end of B. All right, so this is a completed Elliott wave. Now it's pretty, now it's real. Yeah, there is an Elliott wave theory tool, but I prefer just drawing my own. But I know it's like right here, I think. This one right here. All right, so let's talk about this. So we went down 9,200, let's call that. Then we went up 6,500. So that's a little over a Fibonacci of wave A. I think that's like 67, 68%, but that's fine because wave 2s and wave Bs of Elliott wave theory are typically going to be the 61.8 or a little bit higher. And that's exactly what happened. And then price went back down. Wave C, and that looks to be just about over. Yeah. So cool. Just volume, like I'd said, doesn't really look reversal-y yet. So here's what might happen. We might see price. I can see a few possibilities. Price either A goes back down to support, doesn't make new lows, but goes back to support, and then has a major volume spike where everyone just sells when they really shouldn't be. That's one way that this could actually happen because we need to see more volume. Hopefully we see a lot more volume transacted today because if we don't see enough buyers and sellers coming in, then this might not survive. But yeah, so here are a few things that could happen. Price goes back down to support, everyone sells, and then you smart traders actually buy when everyone's selling, and then price goes up. Another thing that could happen is price begins to go up a little bit higher, and then everyone just sells for some reason. And I know this might sound a little confusing that if everyone sells, doesn't that mean you should be bearish? Well, not exactly. Because those people who sold are probably going to want to buy back in due to FOMO, fear of missing out. So if let's say price goes up a little bit and then just quickly goes down, a lot of people sell, and then it continues going up so that we have high volume and then a lot of people who are kind of screwed over, they're going to want to buy back in, and that's going to create an uptrend. So those are the two major scenarios I see for Bitcoin being bullish. For Bitcoin being bearish, I don't know. If I was to say Bitcoin was to be bearish, then maybe you might see some consolidation and just a fall off in volume. And then after you see a fall off in volume, you're going to see price probably go down. But regardless of volume, I'm pretty confident about these technicals that this looks pretty good. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to use this as my first 5-minute break. I'm going to be heading out for about, I think 2-3 minutes. You guys can just stay mesmerized by this beautiful percent and EWT stuff. And then I'm going to come back, and then we're going to be drawing some trend lines, and we're going to be setting some alerts on different coins. The reason we're doing that is because today we're going to be breakout trading. So we're going to be looking at different coins that might be breaking out and then buying them if they do break out. And to do that, we need to set alerts on every coin so that we get alerted when a coin breaks out. Yeah, so I'll be back in 3 minutes. And enjoy the dark chart with the EWT. He never came back. That's hilarious. Yeah, what if I just like left? You just like left this up for like eternity. That would be hilarious. Just like leave like this chart up just forever. Yeah. But yeah, I'm back. I think. So yes, let's get started on what we're gonna be doing today. All right, so let me start off with BCH BTC. Okay, so to breakout trade, which is what I put in the title, what you got to do is to start off with, you're going to want to put alerts above and below consolidation, so that when price goes either above consolidation or below consolidation, you see an alert, and then the price is going to be breaking out or breaking down. So BCH BTC doesn't really look like it's going to be breaking out soon, but regardless, I will do this. No, my shirt is not different. That would be quite the fun trick, like to see like how many people notice if I just completely changed my shirt, or if like I like had someone else just like come in who wasn't me. And then like see if you guys noticed. that would be pretty funny. But regardless of that being funny, let's set an alert so we know to buy this if breakout. So I just set an alert on this guy right here, as you can see. Yeah, so I set my alert right here. So if price goes above that level, then I'm going to be interested in buying. But right now I'm in Ripple. I'm in XRP BTC right now. But if I do see like some significant bullish movement, then I will. I might want to change that. Yeah, it's his twin brother who doesn't know Elliott wave theory. No. It's not. I don't have a twin brother. I don't think I do. If I do have a twin brother, then he better know Elliott wave theory, or he's gonna be excommunicated from the family, of course. All right, so I just set an alert on FBTC. All right, sweet. And yeah, let's do Zcash. All right, so Zcash looks strange. I don't really think I want to trade any breakouts here. This looks. Yeah, we do have a major volume spike here. I don't really want to trade that. I do use the paid version of TradingView. I have, for those who are interested in what this is, I have the premium TradingView version. So that's the one farthest to the right, the most expensive one. And that actually lets you do something pretty cool. It lets you put up 8 charts at a time. I didn't want to do that during stream, but just to show you guys what that would look like, it looks like this, and exactly why I didn't want to do that during stream. So you have to have TradingView. You have to have TradingView Premium to have these 8 charts. But this is what you'd get. I mean, if you're interested. So yeah, let's go back to single because that's much prettier. All right, so XMR BTC, I'm not interested in trading. LTC BTC, let's see the sentiment at least. No, I see no reason to trade LTC BTC for a breakout either. No, it doesn't really look like it's going to be. It looks like it might be consolidating. Maybe I could put an alert up here, but I don't think so. ETC BTC. Sentiment looks just decent. Shorts increasing is great, but we might see some major resistance here, which means that if I was to put an alert here and then price goes up there and then I buy, I could be buying at a market top. So I don't think. I don't think that I'd want to do that so much. Let's go to LSK BTC. Okay, so yeah, this is where like we get to the crazy altcoins that jump like. I think it jumped 50% in like an hour. No, in like 20 minutes. Lisk to Bitcoin got a 50% increase. So I mean, if anyone had bought here and then like sold up here, my God, wow, you'd have quite the story to tell of how you turn like, I don't know, like 5K into like 7.5K in like 10 minutes. It sounds like something that like a binary options thing would say, but yeah. Do I want to sell alert for LSK BTC? I don't really think so. I think that we do see an uptrend here, but We have a major volume spike here as well that was 10 times the moving average, 8 times the moving average, which is nice. But nah, I'm not going to be day trading Lisk. All right, OMG BTC, we have a drop in longs, which is good. Longs are at 90% of the market, which isn't fantastic, but it is still tradable. Because what matters the most with sentiment is not the absolute, like values of these. Like, hey, what I mean by that is like some markets will just consistently have like 90% long or 90% short. That's already factored into the market. What matters the most is the changes in sentiment. Yeah. Pump and dump. Yeah, but I mean, if you're referring to like what I had said earlier about what's probably going to happen to Bitcoin, you can't pump and dump Bitcoin. You'd have to own so much Bitcoin or own so much fiat that to move the market. No. Pump and dump groups, for those who don't know, are pretty sinister. Basically, what they are. Let me just give like a 30-second explanation of why you probably shouldn't join one. Their pump and dump groups are advertised as like, hey, let's all get together and all buy something so that everyone makes money. It sounds good on paper, right? Like, hey, we're all going to make money. But what they actually have, it gets interesting in how they do this. But there's inner like echelons of pump and dump groups. You have the very, very inner circle, which is the creators and the people who pay like legit like 1 to 2 Bitcoin per week just to be part of a pump and dump. And then you have a bit of an outer circle of people who pay maybe a little bit less, or maybe who got in very early. And then you have just the general public. And what the pump and dump group does is they announce that a pump is going to happen, but they've already bought it. They're already priced into the coin, the inner echelon. So that when they announce that pump is going to happen and then everyone buys it, here's what's going to happen. Those guys aren't going to hold. Instead, what they're going to do is they're going to sell, also known as dumping, on everyone who had joined that pump and dump group and bought. They just sell. So when they just sell, they're selling. You're buying at a price that's probably not fantastic. You just want to buy, but they're selling at a great price because what they get to do is something like this. I'm not saying this is a pump and dump. Do not get me wrong, but this is just like maybe of what it would look like with like this. You see a massive quick increase, then a massive quick decrease, and everyone who bought here gets trapped because they don't want to take a loss. And that's what a pump and dump group is going to do. Yeah. So then the inner echelons, the people who paid to be part of it, who paid a certain amount of Bitcoin to be in that inner, the inner circle, they're going to make a lot of money. They're going to make tons of money off kind of just scamming other people who, I don't want to say are stupid or foolish enough, but who might not be experienced in how these pump and dump groups work, that there always will be losers in uptrends, and there's always going to be winners in uptrends. Yeah. And there are people, I don't want to say them by name for obvious reasons, but there are people out there who, there are two kinds of pump and dumpers, like big names. So there are people who are paid to endorse something. So like you would pay a guy who has like 2 million followers to endorse this coin, like, I don't know, like random coin or something like that. That probably actually is a coin. But let's just say someone pitches random coin to whoever, that person puts on their Twitter to buy. And then the person who came to that person to pitch it pays, the person with the Twitter following, and they're both happy. And then the other type of pump and dump is, direct, like what I had talked about before, with the inner echelon of them. So what they're going to do is they're going to tell everyone around them to buy, and then they're just going to sell. Yeah, exactly. Let's not make names. That's not what we're going to do here. But yeah, so that is a kind of scummy way that some people with larger followings or more buying power can do to people who are inexperienced in the market and who have less buying power. So I would say it's a lose-lose situation for any kind of pump and dump, because either you're getting dumped on if you're like the outer echelon. Even if they try to convince you that there is no inner circle, there definitely is. Or at least one guy who's making tons of money while everyone else loses. And if you want to pay up to like be one of the pumpers, to hear about it first, I mean, I just think that's burning money and also immoral. So it's like, yeah, just my due diligence on pump and dumps is avoid them. I can't see any reason why you're going to turn out of that out of a pump and dump group with like a profit. Yeah. So, all right. So that was like a 2-minute rant on pump and dumps before we're actually just going to trade breakouts, and I was going to draw some trend lines. Okay. So going off this, I don't want to trade OMG BTC. Doesn't look attractive. So let's just go on to the next one. Strat BTC. Okay, let's look at the 1 hour. This doesn't look good. It's kind of funny. Yeah, so this doesn't look fantastic because what I see here is no major volume with Stratus Bitcoin. I can't see any reason to want to buy this or buy a breakout. On the 5-minute, we see a bit more volume, which means we might see a little bit, a bit of a move upward. But yeah, this doesn't look fantastic. And by the way, for those who are a little bit more curious, just 10 seconds, I promise. I'm not going to talk about pump and dumps anymore. You can't, like I had said before, you can't pump and dump like Ethereum or like Litecoin. That would be near impossible. You would have to have so much sway or so much power to do a formal pump and dump scheme. Maybe you can slightly increase the price if you have a following of millions of people. But for traditional pump and dump, what that refers to is like coins that just no one knows about. You know, coins that ICOs or coins that are not mainstream and do not have large market caps. And because they don't have large market caps, that's why these pump and dumpers come in, because they know that they can artificially elevate the price of a low market cap coin because it's easy to manipulate a low market cap coin, and then they can fool other people into thinking that they're going to make millions by telling them to buy this coin, and then they're just going to sell at like the market top and potentially like double or triple their profit. Yeah. But don't be afraid. If you just trade like the major coins or even the BTC pairs, those aren't going to get pumped and dumped. That really can't happen. So, and I'm just saying that as I go down the line of looking at different coins. I do have a Discord, and you can check it in the description below. Yeah. Steam BTC doesn't look that attractive either. We have an up move. We don't have a lot of volume, and I don't really see some major consolidation where I might want to, put an alert out to maybe buy if I see significant bullish movement. I don't think we're going to see that. ZRX BTC looks a little. This looks decent. Major volume down to here at this bottom. Resistance at previous support, of course. Let's look at the 1 hour of ZRX. Okay, that's a really strange graph that I'm looking at right there. Yeah. Let me also just draw fibs. That's the 127 right there. I'll bet you that market top's a little bit above the 161.82. Oh no, I was completely wrong. It was the 423.6. You typically never see these numbers because that's just a crazy increase. I don't really think ZRX to Bitcoin looks fantastic. I will put this as part of my breakout repertoire if I wanna buy this though. Oh, I should not have had this checked. I think I had this checked for the other ones too. So I'm going to get like 1 million text messages all at once. Okay, better. Yeah, trading view alerts can be great until you set like 20, and then you just get text message. All right, so are there any more coins that we're looking to trade breakouts with? Anything else? CRX, Bitcoin. Yeah, VRC Bitcoin. All right, sweet. So do I want to trade VRC Bitcoin? It looks... Well, is there VRC USD? Let's see. It's for coin dollar. I'm looking for a volume spike. No volume spike there. Yeah, I see no reason to be looking at VRC BTC. It does look bullish, but I don't see enough volume here really to tell me that this is a market bottom. In the short term, though, VRC BTC does look pretty bullish, as I would imagine. But for the purposes of what we're doing today, I don't really think this can be a candidate for trading. Because what we want to look for is coins that are consolidating. So that aren't really doing much right now, so that when they begin an uptrend, we can buy at the beginning of that uptrend. We don't want to buy a coin that's already in a very established uptrend, because if we do, price might go a little bit higher, but then we're likely to see a retracement. And we don't want that to happen. So next. All right, XEM, also known as NEM. Yeah, this doesn't look good. I know that a lot of these coins are going to rise when Bitcoin rises. That's just what's been happening. You know, Bitcoin's been falling, other coins have been falling too. Well, Sultanal, Blueshy, that's exactly what I'm doing right now. I'm looking at all the coins that I can potentially trade right here. As you can see, it's lagging a bit here, but all these coins are potential trades. So what I'm doing is I'm setting alerts at different price points so that if any of these coins breaches a certain level, I can be alerted to it. And then if I see that it looks like a good buying opportunity, then I will put my money in it. But right now you can see that just about everything's down. And the kinds of coins that I'm looking for are probably coins that are going to have low ATRs. Let me pull up ATR, because I did do a video on that recently. We want to see a falling ATR, not a rising ATR. Perfect. So we can see that the average true range for this guy is just like way too high. Okay, this is a little bit better because we have that falling ATR. So smoothing length, precision, yeah, 8. Okay, perfect. Because that gives us the proper ATR values. STR BTC looks like a decent candidate to trade, to be honest. Curious what it did with this Fibonacci. Yeah, so it went down to the 78.6, and we have a volume spike. So this is a candidate that we could use to trade because this does look decently bullish. Falling ATR, significant volume, which is a really good sign. A very quick up move, and now we're seeing a down move. And I think that it's also Fibonacci extension here. It's a pretty ugly Fibonacci extension, as you can see. Let me just show you guys that. As you can see, it kind of respected it, but I don't want to say it completely respected the 161.8. But it did reverse, though. But I'm going to put this in as a candidate to trade for today's trading as well. So let's put an alert in for that. This guy, okay, so two things that I have to talk about. This guy sounds like a genius. No, I'm absolutely not a genius, especially in the markets. If I was a genius in the markets, I would be like a, gazillionaire, but I am not a gazillionaire. I just have a passion for the markets and like making a little bit of money here and there off them. I don't know what he's saying, but it sure sounds good. Well, if there's anything specifically that you don't understand, like the ATR, maybe I'm talking about volume, price action, breakout trading. If any of that doesn't make sense, if you ask a specific question, then I might answer it. And I will definitely answer it. I haven't said this yet to you guys, but there is something called Super Chat. And that is a way that you both send money and a message that like bleeps up in like, I think special coloring, and it alerts me. And I will answer, I'd say like 99.9% of Super Chat questions, but only like I'd say like 20%, 30% of these questions. So if you want to, if you want to send a question, then send Super Chat. I started 5 years ago. Yeah. You were really young. Well, I am in my 20s, but I guess that is young, being in your 20s. Yeah. But I started 5 years ago with stocks. Then I moved on to Forex trading, which is like trading USD, JPY, Euro USD, like trading cross currency. And then I moved into crypto and have made a little bit of a profit off of crypto. But yep, we have an alert on STR BTC. Now, one of my favorites ever is BitShares Bitcoin. I really like this coin. And this looks actually like a pretty good buy. Not immediately yet. You might want to see a bit of retracement, but we have a major volume spike here, and that's why I say I like this coin. See that volume spike right there? That's a pretty good bullish sign that BTC is going to probably continue moving upward. And I think this is a bit of a 78.6 Fibonacci. So yeah, I would be more than, let me just do something. Oh, oops. And it fell a lot, so that, and then it rose 23%. BTC would be a bit of a riskier grab to trade a breakout with, but if we were to buy this and it was to go up, we could easily make a pretty good profit in a short period of time. But that also means we could lose a pretty big profit in a short period of time as well when we're trading this. Yeah. For these questions, I already did. I didn't do any of these, but if you send a super chat, then maybe I'll do like one or two. On this one, I just put my first Bitcoin yesterday's price call. Well, any advice where and how I can learn trading? Well, I have a few videos on my channel that are meant a little bit more for beginners. For anyone who's new to trading, you could always start off with the simpler stuff, which is like pivot reversal strategy and MACD MFI. Those two strategies have become a little bit more popular on my channel because they're just straightforward, simple buy sells. If you want to go a little bit more advanced into stuff that does work consistently and stuff that I do, I would recommend looking at Fibonacci's, which is like Fibonacci retracements and extensions, volume. So that's two things: volume spikes and volume trends, and then sentiment. And then if you want to go crazy, go Elliott wave theory as well. So yeah. Yeah, I could use VPR, but I prefer to use VP FR. That's fixed range. I don't like to use visible range because visible range tells you just too much jumbled information, and I can show you guys what that means. But I'm still going to label this as breakout so that if price does break out, we can buy it. Yeah. But I'd first want to see some serious consolidation, then price breakout. I don't want to just buy this like right now or buy resistance. So what's the next coin we have? Okay, so one last coin for setting alerts. Let's look at the hourly. Wow. So NXT BTC just crazily. Oh my God, it fell. I don't know if anyone traded this. 83.5% fall in price. Jeez. I don't know what happened here, what news. I don't know a lot about NXT, but this doesn't look too good. We are at support right now, though, which looks short-term bullish at least. We don't have a major volume spike. We had a major volume spike at this market top, which is not a great sign because that means if price does go up here, we might see some resistance at that level. Because of how many people had bought here, they might want to sell at break even, when price goes back up to there. Yeah, so I'm not going to put an alert on NXT. I don't really see any reason to trade this coin, even though we're at a near market bottom, and price has only gone up like 10%. Oh my God, it's so tempting though, because just all this space would just be a large gain. Oh yeah, you might talk about support, resistance, and bullish, bearish. Okay. When someone says support and resistance, what they're talking about is a previous price level where price reversed. So I don't want to go into a full lesson here because this is a live stream and most people here probably already know support resistance. But let's go to Ethereum. I'll just talk about it for like a few minutes. If you want me to elaborate more, just send a super chat. So here's an example of support and resistance here. If you look here, we can see that price reversed at this level. Price went upward and then went back down. We had resistance at this level because it was the highest point until the reversal, right? And then we had price come back up to that level again, and then volume spike, and then it went back down because it respected this resistance level here, and then Ethereum went down. The reason why, and then also you can see a support level here. Price went down to here at support, Price went back down to support and then went back up. The reason why support and resistance are so important, Andrew, is that many people buy at a market top. So what's going to happen is, like, let's say a lot of people had bought here, right? What are people going to want to do when price goes back up to that market top? Are they going to stay rational and just, like, let it sell past them? Or do you think they're going to panic sell at break even? A lot of traders want to be break even because they bought here and they had a loss. And then they panic because of that loss. And then they put a sell order at where they had bought so that they don't lose any money for the day. And that's one big reason why resistance is formed. Same with support, but for, the inverse. Bullish and bearish is really straightforward. When I say something is bullish, that means I believe that the price will go up. So if I say short-term bullish, I'm saying like next few hours, price is going up. If I say medium-term bullish, that means the next few days, like 1 or 2 days, I would expect price to go up, medium-term. Long-term bullish, there's like super long-term, which is all-time. And then there's, like decently long-term, which is like a week or two. A few weeks, that would be bullish, bearish. And then bearish would mean I believe the price is going to go down. So that's what bullish and bearish means for those who do not know what bullish and bearish mean. Ishimoku cloud strategy. I do not actually use Ishimoku. That's not saying it's a bad strategy. It's a perfectly good strategy, just not really my style right now. Mm-hmm. So someone had mentioned before volume profile here. So there's two kinds. We have visible range and we have fixed range. This is what visible range is going to look like this. Let me just show you. You can't even see it because the dark. Yeah. That's so annoying. That's why the dark coloring can be kind of just aggravating. I'm going to have to do this. Just make everything very extreme. Okay. So this is the volume profile. So what this tells us is volume by price. If you've seen my video on it, you'd probably know. It is a fantastic tool because fibs are great. Like all these technical analysis things are great, but volume profile just relies on volume by every single price point. So this will tell you some very helpful information. And one really cool thing you can even see here is that at the top of this value area, like right here, volume profile is indicating that this is resistance right here. So, if price comes up to here, you'd very likely want to sell, and that's just being told by volume profile. And that does look like resistance as well. And then you can see the bottom value area levels dropping right now. But you see it keeps jumping. That's because I'm using VPVR. A lot of people like using visible range, but what I keep telling people is don't use visible range. Just use fixed range. It's a little bit harder to use, but it's well worth it. You select the two endpoints. Like let's say I wanted to go for the downtrend. I'm gonna draw from the beginning of the uptrend to I'd say the end of the downtrend here. Let's configure the settings. Just the standard. Because we're on dark, it's gonna have to be really prominent. And yeah, so here it is. Let me just add the final touch. Okay. So if you can see here, this is the fixed range volume profile. So I got to choose the endpoints, and I could even drag these endpoints if I wanted to. Like if I wanted to go, if I wanted to get a little bit more information out of this volume profile. It's not really letting me right now, but I could, yeah, perfect. I could do that, and it's going to update the information, as you can see here. And this is a much better way to use the volume profile than to use the visible range, as you can see here. I think I'm also going to have to change that to white. Yeah, okay. So we can see that the POC is right here, the point of control, the point of highest volume. The top value area and the low value area is right here. And this was actually very accurate because this volume profile was calculated from here to here. It indicated that you're going to see some resistance at these levels here. As you can see, that blue line. We did see resistance at those levels there, and then price went down. So Volume profile, yeah, it's beautiful. It's fantastic. And then volume profile is also telling me sell at this level here, right there, because this level is likely to go from previous support to future resistance. So if price goes up to here, you would expect 1100, and also it's 1100, a round number. So I would expect this would probably become some powerful resistance, as you can see. Then maybe it's also that 1100 might also have like triple confluence if it's also like a fib level. Yeah, I think it is. I'm just trying to draw it from the high to the low. Yeah, there. So if I drew from the high to the low of this, as you can see, it's just standard fib. We have the 1075 at the 61.8. Volume profile is right up here with the point of control. So basically from here to here is a really good selling zone. That 1.5% area. And that's how you use volume profile. Just a free little tidbit there for you guys. Yeah. That's a good question. So this sentiment button right here, that's bfxdata.com. So what I used to do, and I made some videos on this, is I used to go to the website to get my sentiment data, but then I found that you could actually get sentiment just by overlaying it onto price, overlaying it onto the chart, as you can see here, BFLX 100. If you use a BFX LS on TradingView, you can get the same amount of sentiment that you're getting there. Social trends is exactly what it sounds like. So yeah, right here. I can show you guys that website. It's bullrun.io. And yeah, so that basically just tells me like Twitter, Reddit, I think like Facebook, and the mentions of something to track, its popularity, I would say. And then you can use that to day trade. You can also use Google Trends as well. I think I did a video on, I think I did 2 videos on using Google Trends, because that is a really good tool as well. When you look for spikes in the mentions of Bitcoin, that typically leads to reversal. Because when you see a spike in the mentions of Bitcoin, that typically means that a lot of volume is being transacted at that time. Because, why else would a lot of people mention if they didn't just buy it or are about to buy it? And you can use that to trade reversals using Google Trends, which is pretty cool. Yeah, so we have our alerts set up here. We have 5 breakout alerts set up here. Let me do one more. Even though we're already trading XRP BTC, let me just take a look at that. Yeah. Okay. This doesn't look fantastic, I would say, because we had this jump in long sentiment. So I might want to get out of this trade at a loss. We have major volume. We have ugly sentiment. We have support here, as you can see. I'll show you guys that support level. Support there. Do I want to just like dump this coin that I own? I'm in Ripple right now, but I'm eager to get out of Ripple into one of these 5, if they break out, of course. Yeah. So someone asked me about the moving averages. Look, I mean, to be honest, guys, I'm not a fan of using moving averages just for trading. You can use moving averages as an indicator to, if something's bullish or bearish, but using moving average crossovers, not really something that I'm a big fan of. And just to show you guys, like, this is pretty cool, but you can actually automate moving averages crossing. So let's just do that. If you look here, this is going to be kind of cool. So this is just kind of like PRS. Let's see how much money you would make if you were to trade EMAs. I mean, moving averages. And then we're going to go into Bitcoin and Ethereum. Yeah, that looks good. The 9. I think I have the wrong one. I think it's moving averages 2 cross. Yeah, I saw that one too. Moving averages 2 line cross. Yeah. So what this is this is an automated strategy that the fast and the slow. So you said like you can automate any 2 moving averages. Like let's just say that we do the popular 13, 34. Let's see what would happen if we were to use this strategy. So let's say we use the 1334 and we were to trade it on Bitcoin. So if you see here, it's kind of hard to see, but let me go to the hourly. God, I drew all that. That was Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum. Okay, yeah, let's go to Ethereum. So the using the 1334 does look pretty bullish. I mean, not bullish, profitable. 1334. You have 47% return versus a buy and hold, which is higher than the buy and hold return. And the 1 hour looks really good too. I'm just not really the biggest fan of moving averages, even though this automated strategy might be just as good as PRS, pivot reversal strategy. It's moving averages are just going to perform really well in trends and perform really badly in consolidation. MACD is a slightly more complicated version of moving averages. It uses more values and stuff. But just a standard, hey, does this moving average cross over this moving average? Not my thing. Not my thing. It is one way to find momentum, though. I mean, looking at moving averages. But if you can start to read charts based just on price action, then you can already read momentum. And you'll be fine. So that's my take on it. All right, so now I'm going to come to the part of the live stream that I think a lot of you guys like. And those who are live stream veterans here probably know what I'm doing right now. All right, let's use... Should I add sentiment to this? No. Bar replay, okay. All right, so what I'm going to do here, guys, let's get sentiment too. No, sentiment looks pretty bad. All right, so this is the interactive part of the stream that I like to do. So my question to you guys is this. You see these two price levels? Let me just do a little bit more. Okay, perfect. So based on, this is going to be hard, but based on everything that you know about price action, volume, just reading those two on the, actually let me go to the, I know I'm being very indecisive, but this setup's going to be worth it. Because I was on the hourly, I don't want to go on the hourly. The hourly is boring. Basically, I'm going to be asking you guys if you think it's bullish or bearish. That's the big reveal. I do this on all 3 live streams that I've done before. Okay, so let's start off with an easy practice example. Okay, so we have, oh, this is going to be great because we have a volume spike. All right, so we have a volume spike that occurs here near resistance, but this could be a breakout. Do you guys think that it's more likely to hit 400 first or hit 350 first? Let me actually just put those in. And do not cheat. Do not look back in time at XMR USD. Oh, oops. All right, here it is. Yep. All right, so what do you guys think? This is test time. This is time to see what you guys got. So volume spike at potential resistance or a breakout. Do we think 350 or do we think 400? It's a little bit closer to 400, but you still probably just want to use your analysis based on volume and price here. We're in an overall downtrend, but now we look to be moving up, and we're at consolidation resistance here. I'm going to give you guys about 1 minute. A lot of 350s. Wow. Okay, so you guys have about 20 seconds left before guessing. I will give a shout out to anyone who gets this right. I will happily give multiple shout outs to people who get this one good. And even more bonus points if you say why you think it's 400 to 350. All right, so time's up. All right, so time's up. I think how many 350s and 400s did we get? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 versus 2. So 4 people said 350, 2 people said 400. Uptrend plus volume, yeah, that's fair. All right, let's see. Let's see who's right. Okay. Well, now you guys can. Okay, this is like the last. Okay, now we have. Okay, yep. So that was quick. 400. So let me see who got that right. So Lim, good. You guys survived round 1. So Lim, Sergio, Jorge, Adam. Adam got it right. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can't say 400 now. But yeah, so let's just take a step back and see why this occurred. So we had significant volume up here, and then you can see that this tail actually didn't act as a bearish tail because it broke above resistance. So what I mean by that is price was able to actually move above all the orders that were held at resistance, showing that the resistance level was broken. And when that occurred, we see a bit of consolidation, and then the uptrend continues and breaks 400. So that's why I think someone here explained it pretty well. Uptrend plus volume, yeah, good job. That's basically what you're looking at. Uptrend, solid volume. Really no reason to think that this is too bearish. Message retracted. I'm going to see a lot of messages retracted for all the 350s, honestly. Okay, so that was one for XMR. Let's see what else we got. If I can get another clever setup for the people who had said 400. I think I don't know what I would have said. Maybe next time at the very end, I'll say mine. And by the way, we're also waiting for alerts here, as you can see. So it's gonna be all fun and games until like I get an indication that's like bleeping breakout, and then we might get into a trade. I will give you guys though. Anyone who had said 350, okay, we can just call that one like a practice round. Anyone who had said 400, well, thumbs up to you, boy, bro or gal or whoever you are. But from now on, it's gonna be single round elimination until we have that one perfect or lucky trader who just knows where price is going at all times. Okay. I think I might see something here if price goes down. No, it doesn't. Oh man, that would have been interesting. I should have done one because price just so quickly did that. Ooh, so this one's interesting. Oh yeah, so we have a support level and we have a resistance level here, right? What will be hit first, support or resistance? And if you can explain why, then I'll give you like a super special shout out. So the underlying question here is this a breakout or is this overbought? That massive volume that had occurred here, is that overbought volume and price goes down to support, or does price go up back to resistance? So here it's going to be, we're going to be doing 450, or you can just hit type in just resistance and you'll be fine. Or 375 just for fun. All right, so 375 versus 450. Is price going to resistance or is price going to support? And this one's going to be legit. If you get this right, you go on to the next round until all of you are wrong. I'll give you guys 50 seconds. You need RSI and MACD correct as well. With this, we only get price action volume. All right, so what are you guys saying? Support, 375. All right, I'm gonna give you guys 25 more seconds. That'd be at 125, 126.10. So 20 more seconds for people in round 1. And of course, I mean, goes without saying, but don't cheat. Oh, I know where Monero dollar went on January 16th. Hey, everybody. Okay, so has anyone here said resistance? It would be absolutely hilarious if no one here says resistance and then its price just goes up to resistance. Not saying I want that to happen, but all right, 100% support. Let's do it then. I'm on TradingView using a dark chart. So there's light and dark theme. I'm using the dark theme. I think support. I'm gonna go with 100% of the people who had said support here, and I'm just gonna say support. Let's see. I really hope this is resistance though, so that just everyone gets it wrong. I would laugh so hard if that happened. Okay, so now we're going down to support like we'd expected. Nope, still didn't hit. It has to actually hit the level for you to be right or wrong. Okay, and you can't put in answers now. Okay, all right. Everyone survived. Did anyone here say resistance or you know, the 450? I don't think anyone did. I think you guys are like pretty solid here. Who explained it? Descending wedge bearish. Yeah, this looked pretty bearish to me, because the reason why this went down, for those who are curious, is we had an overbought top right here. A lot of people had rushed in to buy this, and then we had this doji candle right here that was a shooting star. So that looks pretty ugly to me. Yeah, but you guys all survived. I think that one was actually kind of easy though, because we had that massive overbought top. But yeah, I think I'm gonna make like the next like one in like 2 or 3 minutes a little bit harder, because you guys seem to know this already. Volume spike on bearish candle. Yeah, kind of. Major volume spike on the overbought point though. All right, massive downtrend. Yeah, let's just do this one. All right, I'm gonna put the resistance here. I want price to go back up for this to work. All right, I'm glad I didn't ask that one. Okay, so this looks like it's getting some bullish momentum, but will it survive? That is the major question here. So again, support or let me see here. Make it a little bit prettier. 235. Okay. No, let's make that 240. All right, so support or not resistance, but this like previous resistance candle is probably going to be important. So that's 370. Yeah, it's perfect. I think price is just about equidistant from both too. 40, like 50, and like I don't know. All right, so in this one, it's gonna be 370 or 240. I think this one's a bit harder. So basically, all I'm asking is, do you think it's gonna go down to support or previous support? You know, to become future resistance. Do you think the price has enough momentum here? Increasing volume, that's good. Decreasing volume on the retracement. But do you guys think that price has enough momentum to continue moving upward like a lot? But lock in your bids now. Everyone's eligible because everyone got it right last time, but I don't think everyone's going to get it right here. All right, now we're getting like 50-50. Resistance, B bottom. Okay, so you think 370? I'm not going to say what I believe until I lock him in and I begin to play it, and then I'll say what I think we're probably going to be at. 350 is not an answer, so disqualified. I know you see 350 resistance here, but the question is, do we see price break above that resistance and go to here, or do we see price go back down to support? I'm going to give you guys 20 seconds. All right. 5, 4, 3. Again, Austin, 350. 350 is not an answer. So that one's not going to work. Okay, so it's locked in at this point. What would I say? I would say, I'm going to say resistance. I think 370 is probably a little bit more likely. Let's see if I and a few of you guys are right. It's looking like it right now. If it breaks through the 350, it's probably going to be fine, and everyone's going to hit the 370 sell. All right, this is getting interesting. Now I don't really know. It looked bullish in the short term, but now we're just consolidating. So I wonder what price is going to do. And yeah, I did see that major volume spike right there. Ouch. That can mean a lot of things, though. All right, still didn't hit. Come on. All right. That's it. So the answer is 370. Yes, the reason why I picked 370 over 240 is price looked like it had increasing volume as price was going up and volume was going up. And then when price was going down, right here, you see volumes going down. All these messages retracted. You guys better retract your messages now. All right, whatever. I don't think you can edit your message, like, get the right answer. But yeah, so that's why I thought that this was going to hit the 370. And this candle was a breakout because you can see that the tail cleared all orders at previous resistance. And then price continued upward. So let's see who got it right before we move on. So AM got it right. Sergio, you got it right. It's just 2 and me. Just 3 people. God, I think like 2 people got it right. These guys did. A and Sergio, yeah. Okay, so that was XMR. I don't know if many of you guys survived that arena there. Let me go to Bitcoin, even though I know a lot of you guys already know this. Let me just erase all this. But we're going to do one example that's going to be more complicated because we're going to put on sentiment. Let's see. I don't think none of my alerts have been hit yet for the breakout. It's just, I think so many of you already know what happened with Bitcoin at these times, but basically we're seeing how well you know what happened here. Ooh, well, I have one question. Let's see how many people get this right. What is this chart pattern here? This is a very classic chart pattern right here, from here to, from here to here, to here to here, to here to here to here. This chart pattern, does anyone know? It's probably, I think, the most popular chart pattern that there is, or the one that's most well known, at least. Yeah, you guys got it. It is. It's a head and shoulders. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you guys got it. So this is the head and shoulders pattern right here, as you can see, and we actually kind of see like a little bit more of a larger scale head and shoulders here too. So here's the really cool thing about the markets and how they act like a fractal. And what I mean by a fractal, for those who don't know, something that occurs on one time frame is also likely to occur on other time frames. So like if you see a head and shoulders on like the 5 minute, you might also see a head and shoulders on like the 1 hour. And that's just something really cool. Yeah. So one thing I mean by that is, this is a little crazy. So just retrain your mind here. There's a head and shoulders pattern here, right? Classic. There's a head and shoulders pattern from here to here to here. Shoulder, shoulder, head, and then price goes down. And then there's also a head and shoulders pattern from here to here to here. And I know that can be a little strange to look at, but imagine it here. Head, shoulder, shoulder. And yeah, and then price goes down, and then back up, and then back down, and then back up. Because this was the right shoulder here, but there's like a million head and shoulders in here because that's just the way that the market operates. Okay, so all of you guys got that one right. Think of this just a hard question here. What will be a tougher question? Fibonacci's maybe. Yeah, within each shoulder, there's another head and shoulder. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. That's the way that the market sometimes just operates. Yeah. There's also like just a head and shoulders like here, just casually that turn bullish then bearish. I think like at least like 80% of you know what happens here, but for those who don't, let me just do a little bit easier of an example here. We do have a major volume spike up to there. So even if you lost the last round, that's fine. I don't care. You guys can participate in this one with the same amount of confidence. Let's see. Price is a 522, and let's make this one a little bit higher then. All right. So for those who don't know what had happened, and for those who know how to read sentiment, volume, and price action, what do you think is going to happen here? Do we think it's going to be 14.4K or 13.2K? What's more likely to be hit first? And why? If you guys know, chart patterns, sentiment, volume, use whatever kind of analysis you want. And even in this one, I'm going to add RSI just so that every single person here does not have an excuse not to answer this guy. Okay, let's see. For the RSI lovers here, let's see this. Okay. So that's what RSI looks like. Where's price going to go? I can't answer this because I know what happened to Bitcoin on January 12th, so I'm going to keep my mouth shut. RSI looks to be, yeah. I'll talk about what this means with RSI soon, in 15 seconds. But so far, only one person has put in a guess for which way they think price will go based on some stuff. Yeah, and if you guys say why, I mean, bonus points to you. Volume, RSI, sentiment, or whatever. All right, so that's gonna be it. Let's see. So I do know what happened here, but let me just play it for suspense. Will price break support or will price break through resistance? Okay, so price just made resistance here, but that could also mean that a price could, go higher. Oh my God, it still didn't hit. No, yeah, it didn't hit the number yet. So anyone who had said 14.4 is okay. Yeah, 14.4. There you go. So the answer was 14.4K. As you can see here. One thing about RSI, let's talk about what I was looking at. So what I was pointing to first when I did the example was RSI was falling as price was here. That's bearish. That's not a good sign. But what had happened was price went down. But price didn't have enough momentum to go past here. And you can even see that with the volume here. I don't see any major volume that's telling me that price is going to continue a downtrend. I know that that's 2020 hindsight, and I completely understand. But you need to see significant volume for price to continue its trend. And then when price went back up, we saw an increase in volume right here. And here at the support level. And then we see this overbought market top with RSI. But this would have been a good buying opportunity here. A fantastic buying opportunity with oversold RSI. Yeah, that would have been good. That was a tough one. And I do think, let me get sentiment back on there. Sentiment was just flat. I mean, not much you can really interpret from just like even sentiment. So, all right, so let's check up on these breakout coins. Some of these will be set. So my favorite coin that I was looking to trade was BTC. Really nothing's happened here. Yeah. So when you trade breakouts, you want to look for significant momentum and significant volume to trade the breakout. This doesn't look like either is happening, so I really don't see any reason to get crazy on BTC right now. BTC, this is probably not going to be a buy for me, but I just put it for because it was consolidating. Yeah. Now XRP BTC. Let me look at that because that's what I'm actually in right now. I bought XRP BTC at a pretty bad price, but this does look bullish though. As you can see here, we had a volume spike. I think sentiment was bad though. Yeah, increase in longs. That's not fantastic. And an increase in shorts though. That's going to help the market propel itself back upward. So I don't really see any reason to just sell this immediately. was lots of fun being wrong. Haha. Well, that's the point of the markets. They convince everyone. They convince that everyone on one side's right, and then the minute that happens, the market proves that they're all wrong. But we did have that one example. I think it was XMR USD, where every single person in here knew, or just was a great price action volume trader, and got it right, and knew where the price was going to go. That was kind of cool. How long do I hold for? Usually, well, it really depends. Like I would say with the challenge I'm doing now, which is the live stream, the 0.25 Bitcoin and 1 Bitcoin, I'm going to hold for a few days sometimes. But then for my own trading, I'm going to be holding for really any amount of time that I feel is fit. So if I see some major resistance, after I bought something on the 1 hour or the 5 minute even, I might want to sell to just try to get a better price. So my answer to that is I don't really define my trading with like intraday or swing trading or scalping. But I will say that if you want to day trade, I really wouldn't recommend scalping. And for those who don't know what scalping is, that's trading within an hour or around that time frame where you're trading those small moves in the market. The only way that I think that you could actually be pretty profitable trading scalping is if you were to trade breakouts, like basically what I'm doing right here. That way you could probably be A-okay. Because if price breaks through this on the 5 minute and you buy, price is probably just going to keep going up on very high momentum and very quickly. So that's one way that you could trade. But swing trading is probably, I don't want to say the best way, but swing trading on the 1 hour is a pretty good way to trade. Trading on the 1 hour in general is just good. It's just a good way to trade. So I think someone had a question before. Oh, how about Dash? Yeah. Dash, because I can trade Dash, and if it looks good. Okay, so we do see a major volume spike, which already tells me this is a bit bullish. Okay. Oh. Now this is interesting. We have a major volume spike here that looks to be about 11 to 12 times the moving average. This guy's could be a buy. Let me see. Yeah, this major volume is telling me that either two things are happening. Either consolidation was broken and we see a breakout occurring, or this is an overbought point. I can't really distinguish which one this is. The reason why it might be price breaking from consolidation is this consolidation level here, and then price breaks out above it, and then continues moving upward. But one reason I don't think this is a valid breakout that I want to buy right now is price would already be going up pretty quickly if this was a valid breakout. Price would not be stalling like this. And then also we have a tail up to this previous support level So that could become previous support, becoming future resistance. But yeah, if price was consolidating for a long time and then that happened, I'm absolutely going to buy Dash. But because price just went up, it's in a clear uptrend. We have a volume spike. This could become overbought, and I'd expect price to, maybe retrace or consolidate for a bit. So I don't really want to buy that. I think if you guys were here for the second live stream, we did look at WC BTC. That was interesting when it was making its crazy like moves. I'm curious what WC BTC is doing. Third round, I'm 2 for 2. I think you actually are. I think you and one other guy are both 2 for 2. I might do a third round too, because none of my alerts are hitting right now, so I'm not going to be, exiting and entering right now. Okay, so what is WTC? I'm just going to look at the fibs of this one. Ooh, that looks pretty. So if you guys see here, this is not just an arbitrarily drawn fib. If you look at this from this kind of weird consolidation up move from here to here, this was the 161.8 extension. And it just got hit, and then price went back up. So this looks moderately bullish on WTC, BTC, Walton coin. Yeah, and then I think also this was a 161.8 as well. I'm drawing from here to here. You can see that the 161.8 was down there. But yeah, that's just to show you how good Fibonacci's are. And going off how good Fibonacci's are, let me actually just show you guys an example of fibs. Maybe I could even turn this into a practice example. This next question is going to be a Fibonacci question, by the way. I'm just trying to find a good spot. And no, actually, no one's asked that question left. Oh, that was a good breakout. I use 3 exchanges. I use GDAX, Poloniex, Gemini. So I like to use. I'm using Poloniex right now, as you can see. I use Poloniex for trading Bitcoin pairs. I use GDAX for trading, any kind of. If I wanted to buy Bitcoin or Litecoin or anything to the dollar, I would use that. And I like to use Gemini for. I think just. Why do I use Gemini again? Oh, I think it's for easier transfer from Gemini to Poloniex. If I wanted to buy Bitcoin and then send it to Poloniex, I think it's easier that way than GDAX to Poloniex. I think GDAX has transfer fees that are not pretty. I think that's why. But those are the 3 exchanges that I use. Coinbase. I also have an account with Coinbase because it's part of GDAX, of course. But as many know, GDAX has no fees. Coinbase has 1.5% fees for buying and selling. So if you want to buy or sell anything on Coinbase, you might as well just do it on GDAX. The only advantage of Coinbase, though, is that you can buy and sell immediately. With GDAX, you have to deposit the money and then wait a bit. So, but if you actually want to actively day trade, GDAX, of course. But let's say you see that Bitcoin's at a perfect price, hint hint. And you say, hey, I think that Bitcoin's probably going to very likely to move up. Then you could just use Coinbase, just greedily buy at the market bottom and then hopefully make some good gains. But, that's your choice. Okay, I'm looking for a good fib example here. Yeah, determining Fibonacci retracements can be kind of tough. I don't really want to go into full into depth of how to do that. Basically, what you just drew for Fibonacci extension that I've been drawing, you want to draw forward in time. So that could be high to low, it could be low to high, but you just want to make sure you draw them forward like that, or that. You never ever want to draw like that to that, because that would be backward in time. So that's one way you could draw fibs. The more complicated way that I actually use to draw fibs is looking at the market state. So if you first want to, before you draw any kind of Fibonacci, you want to identify what kind of state the market's in. Right now it's consolidating, as you can see. It might leave consolidation, but price is consolidating, as you can see. When price is in uptrend, you just want to probably draw low to high. When price is consolidating, you just want to draw a low to high of that consolidation. So for example, if I'm drawing a fib, I'm not using this. I'm going to be using these values because it's part of a different market stage than this, if that makes sense. Okay. Okay, this is going to be a tough question. But I don't expect many people to get it right. I don't even know what the right answer is because we'll see what happens here. But if you were to draw, in this consolidation, if you were to draw a Fibonacci extension from one low to one high, like a low to a high or something, how would you draw your fib extension based on these price levels? From what level to what level? And this is not going to be an easy question to answer because fibs can be kind of tough to draw. But I do have two ways in mind that I could draw this Fibonacci. But if anyone here thinks that they know Fibonacci's pretty well, then pitch in. Pitch in your knowledge. I guess no one knows what levels to draw the fib at, because no one's answered. That's fine. I'll give you guys till 40. Or I think it's like on a slight delay. I think about like 40 or 50 seconds for some reason. So I think I might just get some answers coming in soon. Or just none of you guys want to do the fibs. I'm going to give it like a few more seconds. All right. So here's the two ways that I would draw these fibs for this. I would draw my fibs from, let me get off magnet mode. I would draw my fib from this low to this high. And I would draw my fib from this low to this high. So that if price does go down, this isn't telling me, yeah, that's high to low. We're drawing low to high because we're plotting a downward extension. If you're drawing high to low, you're drawing an upward extension. If price does go down, let's look at some popular levels from these fib extensions that we have. This level here looks to be really good support. And remember, I have no idea what's going to happen on price. I promise you I didn't research any of this before. It'd be kind of hard to like memorize the point of time and the place to stop. I just drew these because this is how I would draw them. So buying at this level would actually be really good, probably. So you can see. Because that is these two major fib levels. Oh my God, that just happened so quickly. Okay, so what happened here? Yeah, so we drew the fib levels. Good at consolidation. And if you had put a buy order at 1165, I mean, you'd be in profit right now. But, this is a big but, price went down to 161.8, extension of this fib level here. From here to here, price went down to the 161.8 and then went back up. As you can see. So this would have been the correct way to draw them. For those who are curious like what the actual answer is, the answer would be to draw from 1201 to 1332. These can be really hard to draw, so I understand why you guys didn't exactly get that one correct. You said drawing 1160 to 1380. I think that's a little too long term. That'd probably be respected more in the long term, not in the short term. 1160 from like here. If anything, you'd probably want to draw from here to here. That makes sense. Yeah, but that'd be for more extreme values. But just for this short term, when I'm looking at this consolidation here, I'm going to be drawing that fib and that fib. And if I put my buy order at that level right there, I mean, I'm in profit. So, and then not surprisingly, again, if you guys know Fibonacci retracements too, if I draw just a Fibonacci retracement from here to here, price perfectly respected that 61.8 right there. So, yeah. I don't know if you guys are interested in Fibonacci's or just Not maybe volume and price action is a little bit more sexier and exciting than fibs, but fibs are really, I think, the best way to trade price action. So I'm going to end this stream in about like 5 minutes. Just going to let you guys know. That'd be the 2-hour mark. Just an update on the portfolio and what we're looking at right now. We currently own 2315 Ripple. So yeah. So we want Ripple to go up. Because we're in this market right now. But let me close on, of course, the most important coin of all time. Probably a lot of questions on this, but let's look here. Sentiment stuff. So I did draw before earlier in the stream that beautiful Elliott wave on the 1 day. So I would expect that this is probably a market bottom, but we might see price go back down to support. That would be completely fine. Julius, if you're curious, we currently own that much Ripple, which is unfortunately a little bit below what we started. As you can see here, basically all the coins went down in value. Do you see? So we did lose a bit from our trading, as you can see, because really everyone I know lost money too. Let me guys just show you like one last closing thing. It's kind of cool. Yeah, I don't know if that's accurate. 0.231, because this one says 0.43. Yeah, but this just gives like a live feed of how much Bitcoin we own. And like I said, the reason for the loss was that I had a few losses with Ripple as prices for all the altcoins just got wrecked, as you can see here. And for those who, as you can see here. So we lost, like I would say, a good portion, but not so much that we were crippled. We're just about at the same level that we were when we started. But I'm not worried, because I think that if Bitcoin goes up, which I think it will within the next few days, Ripple XRP to Bitcoin will probably go up as well. And that will increase not only our Bitcoin, but also the value of that Bitcoin. So I'm not too worried about this challenge. I think that just to put a goal / an estimate, I would say that we could probably reach half a Bitcoin by, I'd say, like 2 or 3 more live streams. And then maybe we can reach a full Bitcoin by like 10 live streams. I'd say like 9 to 10 live streams from now, maybe we can get our goal of 0.25 to 1 Bitcoin. Yeah. But what I was going to do is I was going to do some more Elliott wave theory on these coins. Bitcoin's Elliott wave theory worked pretty well for those who had seen that earlier. Alert settings, you just do this. Those are my alert settings. But it wasn't on the daily. Let me show you what. So I put an alert here for breakout, as you can see. And to do that, all you have to do is just draw a horizontal line here, and then double click, and then hit alert like this. Then boom, you're in, and then you have an alert. Yeah, I just don't think that the Elliott wave theory of Litecoin and Ethereum are nearly as pretty as this one. This one was just like near perfect with the with how this worked out. Look, price went down 91.59. Price went down here around 91.59, the same exact number, which indicates a likely reversal. So I am using TradingView alerts. I just showed that for trading breakouts. Sarcastics, I think he means stochastics, or maybe like a jokingly way of saying stochastics. I don't really use stochastics as much. I just mainly use sentiment, volume profile, Fibonacci, and price action. Those 5 things. So, and then also Elliott wave theory, of course, which goes into fibs. But yeah, so I'm going to close the stream here. Recap on where the coin portfolio is at. It's right there. You can see how much Bitcoin we own. We did take a major loss, as you can see, that had occurred because of the market just not doing well. That's fine. I'm not that worried. But yeah, so Bitcoin looking forward, I would say we might see price go down to support and then probably go back up around. Maybe to a Fibonacci retracement up in the short term, and then price goes down to like Fibonacci and then goes back up or something. But it remains to be seen. All right, guys, so that's gonna be it. Thank you guys for watching, and yeah, so have a great day, night, afternoon, or whatever it is for wherever you are. So, all right, see you guys.